Hey, it's Wednesday night. It's always so awkward for me to start these things. But anyway, it's Wednesday night, right? So it's time for another video. And Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, although yesterday I did one because of the holiday on Monday. So yeah, I'm kind of getting to, well, I am at the point, where I'm kind of, I guess, divulging, kind of letting people know what I did, to break free. So for any of you who are going to, like people who are on here tonight for the first time maybe, or those who are going to watch it later, for the first time, just really briefly, I know some of you watch them all the time, and I'm sorry, but I go through these because, sometimes people are on for the first time and they have no clue who I am or what I'm doing. So I have been doing these videos, I think since mid-May or towards the end of May. Hey Jody, hey Mitch, and I've been doing them 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And so that makes, I think after this week, it'll be like 39 videos that I've done. And they are designed to give people hope, to give people encouragement, to let people know that they're not alone. Those of you who struggle with fear, anxiety, panic attacks, depression, to let people know that you can break free, that I broke free. 25 years I struggled with this hellish way of living, struggled with it, coped with it, endured it, learned to live with it, fashioned my life around it. You guys get it if you've gone through it, right? Did anything and everything that I knew humanly possible to be done with it. In my mind it was like, I guess I didn't come out and say it, but it was like I don't want to just live with this anymore. I don't want to learn to cope with it anymore. I don't want to endure it anymore. I don't want to, no, it was like, I want to break free. I want to be done with it. I want to be done. I don't want to do it with medicines that are going to cause side effects. It's funny, my niece, who was on many medications, 11 to be exact at one point in time, and so I was reading her medicines the one time, or reading about them, so it was so crazy, anxiety medication. I'm reading the side effects, and hey Alicia, how are you? And Wayne, wow, how are you, Wayne? So some of the side effects of the anxiety medication was actually depression, and some of the side effects of the depression medication was anxiety, even to the point of it saying like suicidal tendencies and things like that. So you just go, are you serious? I'm gonna try to combat this with medication that's gonna give me side effects? No, I'm breaking free. I don't know how it's gonna happen. I have no clue, but man, I was on a search. I did everything that I knew possible, right? So you have to go back to yesterday's video to listen to kind of the whole thing, because I'm going to just give a really condensed version of it. But throughout the summer that I've done these videos, I've given, kind of snippets of information, just kind of things like I've got my list right here. What you focus on grows, right? God designed us to heal, right? You're not stuck. What are you telling your mind to believe is another topic. Fear is a liar, is another topic. Victim or victor, it's up to you. That's another topic. So each time they're like things that you can walk away from and go, wow, that gives me something to think about, or even that gives me something to do. That gives me something that I can do right now, to lessen this anxiety, to Hey, Pam and Julia. Pam, I heard you had a nice time with Paula up north. Anyway, so just, just little things, that you can do. And people have said, I've seen people in so many different places that are like, I've watched your videos, I'm watching your videos, I've given your videos to this person or that person. And it just blesses me so much, because this is like passion for me. This is like God taking something that was a mess in my life, that was hell in my life, that was horrible, horrible way to live, horrible. And he's taken that mess. I know this is a cliche, but he's turned it around, and I broke free. And now it becomes my message, right? It becomes my message. And if I hear a message, and I'm hoping and praying that you guys feel the same, whoever is listening to this, who struggles with this now, if you're listening later, that if somebody else can do something and break free, then so can you. So can you. I am nobody special. God is no respecter of persons. I said that last night, and there was many things that I heard that I was told about fear, anxiety, panic attacks, the whole deal, that if I would have believed them all, I wouldn't be sitting here in front of you like this. I wouldn't be have broke free. I'd still be enduring it. I'd still be struggling with it. I'd still be fashioning my life around fear, anxiety, and panic attacks. So there's many things that I had to renew my mind to. Chemical imbalance was one. You can go back to my videos and you can listen to what I have to say about it. There were things that I had to say, you know what, I respect that a doctor or a psychologist or somebody might have said that. I get it. Those are things that you've seen. Those are patterns that you've seen. But you know what? I know that my God is bigger than a chemical imbalance. And I began to understand what that was, right? Your chemicals get imbalanced, they can get balanced once again. It's a huge, huge ticket to freedom. Just right there. God has designed it that way. It's amazing, right? It's not like, well, you got to go back and listen to the one on chemical imbalance. It's not like you were born with your chemicals imbalanced, or all of a sudden one day they became totally imbalanced and now you can't do anything about it except be on medication. It's not true. Hey Crystal, how are you, girl? Runs in your family. That's another one. That might be. Your aunt might have had it. Your mom might have had it. Maybe your whole line had it. Well, guess what? You can draw a line in the sand and say it stops right here. It stops with me. There's many things that I had to unlearn, and I had to open my mind to say, you know what? I'm not going to believe that. I don't believe that. So there might be some things that you've listened to or that you have heard with these videos that you might go, I don't know about that. I don't, not being open to things, not being teachable, not being, having your mind kind of opened and renewed to certain things. It's going to keep you stuck a lot of times. So anyway, all right, I'm going to do this. I'm going to go back just really, really quickly. You can go back and listen to the other videos. So I did everything possible, right? Psychologists, psychiatrists, doctors, counselors, Christian Psychiatric Hospital, Christian counseling, all kinds of things. I was hungry to break free. I would have done anything. Tell me what to do and I'll do it, right? But I wasn't hearing any of that, okay? So the last thing that I was doing, 3 weeks in a Christian Psychiatric Hospital, I get out of that, nothing has changed. Nothing has changed. I don't have anything concrete to say, this is what you could be doing, this is what so that I go to a Christian counselor for 4 years after that. Driving every week, 4 years. After 4 years, I've gotten no better. So I'm going to go really quickly through this. I'm in bed one night. My husband and I are in bed, 4 o'clock in the morning. I wake up. There's an infomercial. I'm reading the symptoms of this. all of the symptoms were like, oh my gosh, that's me. It describes anxiety and panic attacks like perfectly. I'm going, what is this? What am I watching? Wake up my husband, find out it's this program. I believe it's still available now. $425 for 16 cassette tapes and a booklet. I was thinking we can't afford it. My husband's like, we can't afford not to. You know, we spent money on counselors. Insurance didn't always cover those kind of things, you know. So we bought it. I got it. I'm working with a Christian counselor at that point in time, 4 years. Nothing's changed. Took this in and I said, how about, look at this. How about I integrate this into my counseling with you? Because I didn't say nothing, but you know, it's like there'd been no change, nothing, you know. And he looked at it. He said, "Don't do it. I don't agree with it. It's no good. If you do it, we won't work together anymore. If you decide to do it." I'd already purchased it, you know. So I get out to my car. It was endorsed by it had some endorsements, and it was endorsed by a pastor. I think he's passed away now though, but you know, like years ago, and he's like, I showed him that, you know, it's even endorsed by a pastor, and he's like, no, but I don't like that pastor. So I got out to my car seriously, and I'm kind of going, what do I do? Like, what do I do? This guy's a professional, but I've had no traction, and something inside said, you got to do it. You got to move forward. So that was my last day that I saw him. Said he wouldn't work with me, and I'm like, nope. There's something inside of me that says I've got to do this, right? So I did it. I did the 16-week program, and after I did it for 16 weeks, I did it 16 more weeks. I felt some change, some movement, but you know, thought, no, got to do it again. Got to do it again. I had 4 small kids at that time. I mean, you know, from maybe like 4th grade on, you know, on down and stuff. And not every tape or whatever was applicable to me. It talked about if you're using alcohol to combat it. It talked about like anger issues, you know, things like that. So I did them all. I always did them all, but there was a marked change. There was a marked change after 16 weeks, after 32 weeks of doing this. There was like visible, I can feel something is different. I was diligent. I did what I needed to do in that workbook. I was like, yeah. And I was flabbergasted. Like, wow, this has brought about a change in this condition, right? So along the line, I began to get a little closer to God. That was a horrible thing while I was going through fear and anxiety, because I thought God brought it on. Like, I thought, God, you know, like, what are you doing? Why, you know, since I'm little, since I'm a young girl, 11 years old, this panic attack starts. Like, why are you bringing this on me? Like, what did I do that you want me to live a life like this? So I was very fearful of God. I was very fearful that he brought this on me. So I'm like, you know, doesn't he do everything? Doesn't he do bad things good, you know? What's he going to do next? So that wasn't a good, I didn't have a good relationship with, I didn't have any relationship with God. I had an unhealthy fear of him. But I began to have a hunger for more of God. I began to get a hunger for him. And along the years, you know, I began to learn more things. I began to dig in. Man, I'm digging in to the Word of God. I am digging in and listening. God's bringing people my way that I can start listening to on the internet and things like that. I'm getting so much more wisdom to add to what I learned in this program that I did. That it was like explosive and brought me to a place of freedom. And so I'm kind of, questioning, kind of going, like the things that were in this program and the things that God was showing me afterwards, just such wisdom. I'm like, I never heard any of this at the Christian Psychiatric Hospital I was at. I never heard any of this from psychologists, psychiatrists. I never heard any of this from the Christian counselor, two of them, that I went to for years. Again, I'm not bashing these. I'm not bashing this stuff. I'm just saying I never heard any of these things. None of them. And I'm kind of like, but it worked. I'm like, God, I'm at this Christian psychiatric hospital, and they're talking about God all the time, God all the time, and we're praying and we're doing all these things, but nobody's getting better. Here I do this program that has nothing that doesn't talk about God whatsoever. Like there's nothing about it whatsoever. It's just things that you can do, things that you can, wisdom that you can put to work and put to action. And I'm kind of going like, God, what's the deal? Like, how come that worked? And how come this seemingly Christian counselor, and how come this doesn't work? What's the deal? And some ministry friends of ours kind of put it that it really made me understand that there's principles. This program that I did had principles. It had godly wisdom and principles. It didn't come from just these people that developed it, godly wisdom and principles that worked, right? God wasn't attached to it, but there's principles that God has put into place, right? That work for whoever. And that's what was happening. So I'm like, Lord, you've taught me so much more too. If I take these and I take what I've learned from you, and put it together, and that's what the Lord was kind of showing me, hey, Kate, the principles without the presence is what I did. I'm like, I want the principles with the presence of God, to marry those together. And what God allowed me to do is come up with a program that I've called Reclaiming Peace. Took me, oh my goodness, I don't know how many years, a lot of years to develop that. Probably like 2 years. And I'm revising it right now. I'm kind of doing a revision of it right now, which is amazing. But just, yeah, it was everything that I had learned, combining it with these principles to come up with this amazing program that's not my wisdom, that's God's wisdom. And I've been sharing nuggets with you guys for the last 39 videos, or 38 videos, however many that there is. And I'm like, this is like amazing. This is amazing. God knows what you need. God knows what you need to break free. And it doesn't often look like, it doesn't ever look like worldly wisdom. It doesn't ever look like what you think it would look like. It puts your head on tilt sometimes and goes, wow, I've got to consider this. Like I've never considered, right? Let's say I've never considered that it doesn't, that chemical imbalance, like I've never considered, like I think, like I really think that I'm stuck with that, or I really thought I'm stuck with that. Well, consider differently. I've never really thought about what I focus on grows, or what I talk about most grows, or what I say really grows, I've never thought about the fact that I don't always have control of what comes into my mind, but I have control of what stays there, I haven't thought about these things. I never heard these things. So that's what I did. I worked on it for, like I said, almost 2 years. It's called Reclaiming Peace. And I launched it several years ago, and it's amazing. It's absolutely amazing, and I'm so in awe of it. I'm so proud of it. I'm of the wisdom that's in it. Again, that does not come from me. This is like so far out there. Never in a million years would I have ever thought that this could happen. You know, free for 20 years. Actually, yeah, 20 years. Maybe a little bit more. Maybe just a little bit over 20 years. And I was fearful. I was panic attacking. I was anxiety level all day long, right? Depression, the whole 9 yards, you know, just knowing in the back of my mind that somehow I'm going to break free, but yet just living with it and learning to live with it and learning to put up with it and just plodding through my days, getting through most of them. Other times I didn't get through. Other times I had to come home. Other times I didn't go places. You know, it ruled my life. It really, really ruled my life. And you can go back and listen to the videos and find out what it did. So this is the deal, you guys. I have done this program that I have. It has 10 sessions. It's 10 weeks long, and my sort of guinea pig, I'll bring her on here one of these days, was my niece, who I was like, okay, when I'm done with this, I know it's helped me, and I know but she's one I'm going to target right away. She's one who's on 11 medications. She was on medications for anxiety medications, depression medications, you know, some other medications for hearing like voices, you know, just 11 of them. And she's down to 4. And one of them is like a seizure medication and I can't remember, but she's off of anxiety medication. She's 37. She's probably been on it for I don't even know how long. Was going to therapists and counselors and psychologists, psychiatrists for, I'd say maybe 20 years. I might be wrong with that, but I'd say about 20 years. And she doesn't go anymore. She's not at the counselor. She's not at the psychiatrist anymore. I was like, yes, yes. Oh, gave me such joy, you know? So I worked with her with it, one-on-one. We went through it 3 times, you know, 3 times, that's 30 weeks. And then I was ready to kind of go forward with it a little bit. And I did a class in my church last year. I think I had like maybe 11 or 12 people in that class. And I have some wonderful testimonies from the people that were through it. I did 2 Facebook Live closed, you know, it's a closed class. I did 2 of those last fall and winter. And actually got some amazing testimonies from people from that too. And like I said, what I'm doing right now is a little revision because I've learned even more. You know, I'm not going to revise this thing every, but I'm revising it, coming up with you know, new sessions, adding kind of to the sessions that I had. My son is the one who formats it for me, and I'm scheduled to. A week from Thursday, I'm doing another class at our church. And so I want to offer you guys who have been listening to this, who have been watching these, who have been encouraged by what I've been doing. And those are always going to be available, all these videos. And I'm still going to come on here. I don't know whether I'm going to do Monday, Wednesday, and Friday because I've got a lot going on now that fall is coming. But they're going to be available all the time. They're on a YouTube channel now called Reclaiming Peace. All you have to do is go to YouTube and type in Reclaiming Peace, and they're all available. They're going to be there for, you know, you can watch them anytime you want. But I am also going to start another Facebook Live class. It's a closed Facebook group. It worked so wonderfully the last 2 times that I did it. People can ask questions, things like that. I'm also going to be doing one at the farmers market here in Frankenmuth. So that's going to be, it's 8 weeks plus 2 bonus sessions, so 10 sessions. And that is going to be, I haven't solidified. It's going to start the first week of October at the farmers market here in Frankenmuth. It's either going to be a Tuesday night or a Wednesday night. I haven't decided yet. I'll come on Friday and I'm going to give you more information about this stuff on Friday. And then I do also one-on-one. You know, we do oh gosh, what do I want to say? FaceTime, you know, like FaceTime, you know, or whatever, so that we can be one-on-ones. But it's so cool because the Facebook Live, to do the Facebook Live where it's a closed group, again, it's a closed group, you know, it's just the people who are struggling. It's not like this where everybody on Facebook can see you. It's a Facebook Live group. I had, the last time I did it I had somebody from Montana, you know, we had somebody from Howell, Michigan, you know, so it's like that. Anybody around the country, you know, anybody can do those with me. So, yeah, it's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. And like I said, I will be back on here on Friday, and I'm going to be more solid with when, you know, those are starting, and give you the prices for each of those. It's like crazy. And, you know, I got to charge something because it's, you know, my time and my, you know, putting this program together. And the bottom line is it works. I am so confident because I'm so confident in God and in His wisdom and what He has molded together, allowed me to mold together with this program. His principles, the principles with the presence of God in there, the principles and the presence. It's an unbeatable combination, an absolutely unbeatable combination. And could I tell you, if you go through this program with me, that you will break free? I can't promise that you will break free, but I can promise that you can break free. And I'm absolutely serious about that, because the principles work. They just do. They just do. That's the bottom line. They just do. So, yeah, it's an exciting thing. It's I'm so blessed to be able to offer it. And, you know, like I told you, I did this program how many years ago? A lot of years ago, right? Cassette tapes. Paid $425. $425 for this a lot of years ago. I'm telling you, this, what I have, you'll find out on Friday, it's like peanuts. It's like, yeah. And you think about the things that you spend money on sometimes. You know, you'll spend money on a million different things that aren't going to do anything to help you overcome fear, anxiety, and panic attacks, right? So it's really cool, because if you did one of these programs with me, you know, either Facebook Live, or if you live here in town, the one at the farmers market that I'm going to do, you know, you could start 2019 in a whole different way. You could start 2019 with freedom, in freedom from fear, anxiety, panic attacks, depression. I really mean that sincerely. I really, really do. So I'm going to be back on here, like I said, on Friday, and I'm going to explain these things a little bit more to you. I'm going to explain these programs, this program a little bit more, you know, to you at that time, and tell you what the prices are of each of the different things that you can do, that you can join me with. But thank you for listening. I know tonight's been a little bit longer. Last night was too. Hey, Kathy, how are you? And Judy. I see Judy too. Sorry, I kind of get where I don't see the names so much. But I'm passionate about this. I am absolutely passionate about this. And, you know, God wants you free. You guys, He wants you to live a life of freedom. He totally wants you to live a life of freedom from fear. And he wants you to do it the way he's designed you to do it. And it's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. And it's an amazing way to live. And if I'm living it, you can live it too. And I mean that. I mean that absolutely sincerely. So anyway, that's kind of it for tonight. You can go back and listen again if you wish, but I will come back on Friday, like I said, and give you the information that you would need. And I just really hope to see some of you guys joining me for one of these things, and for you to be able to join me in this journey out of this life and into a life of freedom from fear. All right, see you on Friday. Have a great night.